It was poetic, wasn't it? Two of the oldest members of the winning Indian team in the middle, one the highest run getter, not just in ODIs, not just for India, but in women's international, the other, the highest wicket taker at the other end. And of course, the Raj, the Mithali Raj, the king with the bat, the queen with the bat, hitting the winning run and sealing the win for India. The first in this series that ends the series 2-1 in India, in England's favor. Of course, 6-4 at this point in the multi-format stage. Couldn't have gotten better. But let's start our hygiene class on the outside view live by checking the nails of Vanitha VR and Ananya Upendran after this nail biter. Vanitha, let's start with you. Your nails, are they intact? And what's your first thoughts on the game?
Absolutely, I'm thrilled as an Indian fan. Amazing to see us winning, and always we wanted to see on the winning side. And finally, we're able to taste victory. And before the start of the match itself, we spoke about it that it would be great if we could win this game and just set the momentum right. And that's exactly what happened. I think right from the toss, everything has just fallen in place for us. I think hats off to Mithali. She pulled off a toss. She pulled off, some excellent bowling changes. The way she led the side, and then obviously batting. It was perfectly Mithali Raj day, and of course getting past that world record also. What more? I think it's absolutely a delightful and brilliant day for all of us.
Ananya, are you kind of still for a while on your chair, and how intact are your nails?
My nails are perfectly intact. I mean, to be honest, once Mithali Raj crossed that 50, it felt like kind of felt inevitable that she would see them over the line. I know it kind of looked like, England were probably a little bit in front, but just someone who's kind of followed. If you follow her career, you know that if she gets into a situation like this, she will invariably see the team over the line. I mean, it's very rare that she kind of puts her team in a situation where she scores a 50 and doesn't, more often than not she'll get them over the line. So today, and it also felt like today she went in with a point to prove. She wanted to silence all the detractors. There's been a lot said about her. There was a lot said through the innings about her, and I think she just kind of silenced everyone, took her team over the line, and it was a brilliant innings. Of course, I think Sneh Rana also helped in her own little way towards the end, but it was just fantastic to see India get over the line, and it just feels like she's kind of that Mithali Raj is India's one woman army right now. It just feels like that.
Let's take a look at that batting scorecard because that tells the story. Shafali Verma, 19 of 29, not the best of days for her in ODI cricket, but of course it's early days. And then there is that Smriti Mandana, someone who thrives on run chases, couldn't kind of get to that 50 run, but at number 4, there was Mithali Raj standing tall through the run chase, 75 not out of 86. And then if you kind of go down that batting order, there is Sneh Rana, who played the crucial knock of 24 of 22, a strike rate of 109, which kind of turned the game on its head probably, Vanitha. 50 of 40 was the partnership between Rana and Mithali Raj. And that probably, at that point, probably England lost the plot, didn't they?
Definitely, Rana came and disturbed England's plan, the way she shifted the momentum. And of course, Mithali also, the way she started opening out after Rana coming in there. It was excellent. It was excellent. And mind you, the running between the wickets was fabulous at that point in time. It's, we were talking about asking somebody to retire. I think all of us need to rethink about it. The way she was striding between the wickets after fielding for 47 overs, it's not easy. And then you go out there and then bat throughout the end, and the way how, Rana also supported. I think Rana's and Mithali's partnership for me is the best in this innings. If I have to pick up something, I think it is this partnership, which changed the course of the game and the momentum of the game. And England were absolutely, they didn't have, no plan at all to actually tackle Rana. I think she was just going and she played fearlessly today. That's because Mithali Raj was on the other side, and that made a huge difference. This is what I was telling the other day also, that we need somebody, a top order has to stay till the end for us to take us through. And that exactly happened today. And that's why we're tasting victory today.
And this has been almost a rise of Sneh Rana or the second coming or the homecoming. We can kind of put on words to it because just kind of rewind to a couple of weeks ago, Sneh Rana, once again, she was walking in for India in that test match, second innings, almost in a stage where India were on the brink. And today there she was about 50, 56 were needed when she came in, less number of balls. And there she was playing that match turning knock. She has something around it, isn't it?
Well, look, this is what happens when you pick people who have played those roles in domestic cricket. They go to international cricket. They know exactly what's required. Sneh Rana, 27, yes, but she's someone who's been around that circuit, like, had a lot of success in the circuit, knows her game inside out, knows what it is to bat at numbers 5, 6, and 7. So there's just so much knowledge that she then takes into those positions. And whether she's done it at international cricket or not, she knows that she can do it. She knows that she's done it at some level, so that confidence then is transferred into her game at the international level. It's as simple as that. I know it sounds very easy, but this is just what happens when you pick players who have achieved a bit of success in certain positions. And we've seen that with Australia as well, that when you pick people for a particular position and play them at that position, they will then know how to transfer that success there. So yeah, I mean, I hope Sneh Rana's success in this series kind of gives us a bit of a blueprint, allows us to understand what works at this level. And like I keep saying this, it's not always about finding the next big thing. It's about trying to figure out how you can, fill this team with match winners for this year or for the next couple of years. You don't always have to be looking 10 years down the line. So I hope Rana's success does that. And it's just a fantastic story.
50 or 40 was the partnership between Rana and Mithali Raj, as I said. Both play for Railways, and of course, in the absence of Mithali Raj, Sneh Rana has been captaining them as well. We talked to Nushin about how that development came about, Ananya. But is it also a fact? Did that also play a role in it? The fact that both knew one another's game, both were kind of leaders in their own right. Did that familiarity also kind of help India at that stage?
I'm sure it did, because you could tell there was one delivery where Rana kind of I think she mistimed a shot, or she wasn't able to get off strike, and you could hear Mithali Raj at the other end saying, "Rana, bas single chahiye." So there was the familiarity, yes, but it was also just like Vanitha said, there was someone who had been batting through a bulk of the innings, who was then guiding her through that, just explaining to her what was required at that point in time. So yes, I'm sure the familiarity helped. I'm sure the fact that, they've played a lot together definitely helped. But it was also the fact that there was an experienced batter there, just kind of calming her down and helping her through it. And also her experience having done it in domestic cricket helped. It's a lot of things that just came together, I think.
Yeah, Vanitha, Mithali Raj is someone we've all kind of looked at for some time now, 22 years and counting at the international stage. But this innings was special in another way. She was almost the lone ranger, so to say, at that point, till, of course, Rana walked in. What kind of stood out to you in this innings of Mithali Raj?
I could see a lot of positive factors in Mithali's batting today. The way she was moving her feet, the way she was reading and picking the line and length was fabulous. And we know, I mean, mind you, she's coming from 2 half centuries from the last 2 games, and that gives you a lot of confidence. But what I really liked about her is that she started from zero. She didn't start from where she left it. That's what Mithali is so good at. Every time she walks out there, she starts from zero and she builds her innings, and that's exactly what she did. And for me, the standard was the way she played those lofted shots. A lot of people spoke a lot of things in the last few weeks about how Mithali Raj, what she has to do, she has to retire and all of this. Mind you, people who spoke about it, I think they need to take their words back, because she has really proved everybody wrong. And she's not somebody who is going out there to prove anyone. She just walks out there with a lot of pride in her heart, and that she wants to win matches, and that's seen. Because of that only, she's consistent over years. She's never ran behind milestone, and we spoke this sometime back also. It's never for milestone. It's just that simple sheer joy that she gets winning matches for India, and that showed everything. And today I could see a youngster Mithali batting there. It never looked like 39-year-old Mithali's batting. It completely looked like as if we're watching a youngster bat there. a 22-year-old, maybe her whole experience, we can actually put it as a number, as a age. I think she was fabulous today. It was pleasing to watch her bat the way she batted today. Some of her shots were fabulous, and a bat swing was something extraordinary today, I must tell you.
Yeah, indeed. It's not a secret anymore that India loves chasing. Before this game, they had won 10 of their last 13 matches chasing. So that indeed tells a story, doesn't it? But it also seemed as if Mithali Raj was in it because she used her feet assuringly against spin, against the likes of Sophie Eccleston, who seemed to have gotten her number in the series so far. But that told a story that there was intent, there was the idea to go about it, and India, of course, finally won the game. Though at points it seemed as if the eventual result might not be the case. There you go, a 4-wicket win for India in that third and final T20. Let's take a look at the England bowling scorecard right now. Nothing much went their way towards the end, but at the start they kind of had success in kind of stifling the Indians. Look at that, Catherine Brunt and Anya Upendran, not again amongst the wickets, but Kate Cross providing them the breakthrough, and then the spinners of Sophie Eccleston, Sarah Gwen, and even Heather Knight, who picked up her 50th wicket, Ananya. The English spinners kind of seem to take a lesson from what the Indian bowlers did at that point, and all three spinners kind of had Indians in a spot of bother in the middle of the game.
A little bit. They did bowl very well. I mean, I think even Sarah Glenn bowled very well. I think the first two games, India kind of played her quite well, dealt with her quite easily. But today, I think she came back quite nicely. And one of the interesting things for me was just the pace at which they bowled. Sarah Glenn and Sophie Eccleston are both quite quick in the air. They're much quicker than the Indian spinners. But today, you could see them slightly slow it up a bit, toss the ball up in the air a little bit. I mean, I guess for their standards, it would be tossing the ball in the air. So they did slow it up. And I think that's what caused a bit of a problem for India, because again, it was the ball was losing a lot of pace off the track as well. So the Indians kind of had to come at the ball. You saw Mithali Raj and all the other batters come down the track. So I think for me, the pace at which they bowled was very, very impressive. And that allowed them to kind of rack up the dot balls. If you look at the seamers of England, apart from Kate Cross, I think they didn't bowl too many dot balls. So I don't think they actually bowled as well as the analysis shows in the beginning. But yeah, they managed to tie up Shafali Verma and get an early wicket. But yeah, I think the spinners, for me, it was just the pace at which they bowled.
Vanitha, your thoughts on how England used the pace, as Ananya said, on that wicket, because they kind of almost made it tough or impossible for India to gun down the 220-run score.
See, the first inning itself, I told you that the way Deepti Sharma started adapting to wicket, they saw what the wicket was offering. There's no point in actually pushing the ball quicker on the surface. It's not helping them. The only way how they could have worked on us was the trajectory and the drift. And that's exactly what the spinners were trying to do today, the England spinners. And we saw Sophie also varying a bit in pace. Usually she doesn't bowl at the space. It's much quicker. And our line of attack also was slightly different today. And they know what the wicket was offering. There was not much on the wicket. It was probably not so English wicket, and it was more of an Indian wicket for us. And that's exactly what we saw. Indians used it very well, and the way how we batted also was, the way how we tackled them was brilliant. And apart from playing some not so good shots against those spinners, I felt overall it was not that difficult wicket or not that difficult tight bowling from England for us to actually go about.
Indeed, let's kind of rewind to the start of this innings. Smriti Mandhana, Vanitha, you'd picked her as one of the performers of this run chase, and she almost kind of kept her record of scoring a 15 run chases intact. That kind of got broken today at 49. But finally, good runs, those 49 runs.
Somebody who's just getting out in 20s, I think would be happy, before the start of T20s, happy to see herself amongst the runs and contributing to the victory. See, eventually, I've seen how Smriti thinks. She wants to contribute to team's victory, and that's exactly why. Even though she got out at 49, I saw her smiling and being happy in the dugout. That shows that she's contributed to the team, and that's exactly what her mindset has always been. And see, this is what we are looking at. We want our batters to get into form before the big tournament, before the big matches, and it's so many things have fallen in place for all of us today, and especially the batting unit. If you look at it, it has fallen in place for us, except a couple of them. That's all right. When you're chasing it, you tend to see a downfall in a couple of batters. That's all right. But what for me the standard was to see Smriti Mandana back in form. That's a happy sign for all of us, and of course Mithali finishing the game. That's also like I would have taken if it was Mithali or Harman, but we just wanted a batter to finish the game, and that's exactly a positive sign for us. And we know if we have to win games, we need these factors coming in place for us. And I'm happy that batters are back in their form, and that's where they belong.
Yeah, on a big day, the run chase Priti Mandana shown. There was a good innings from Mithali Raj, and of course Sneh Rana adding to those finishing touches. But we have to touch upon the low points a bit as well, isn't it? And that is one of the concerns that probably India might have going ahead is Jemima Rodriguez' form, who has 5 single-digit scores in 5 games now. Ananya, what must she do to kind of get back amongst runs?
You should probably ask this question to the batter, not me. I spent much of my career batting 7-9, so yeah, that one was the opener.
See, well, there's no rocket science behind that. Like Ananya mentioned it sometime back, she knows what it takes to actually come back again and perform. And you just need performances and runs under your belt. That gives you all new different feeling. And today we saw, example, Mithali Raj only, the way she came and she batted with a lot of flow. That's because she's got runs behind her, under a belt. And that's exactly what we want to see Jemima also do that. And well, the management tried. The management tried to get her in form. The management tried to keep her in thick of things. But look, a player I feel will go through this downfall. Will go through this phase in their careers. It's about how they overcome the situation. See, I feel she's trying too hard right now because she's trying really hard. When you're trying really hard, things just don't fall in place. I feel she just have to accept that okay, things are not fine, and just let it go. And you can't, like I said, there's no domestic cricket back here. But then since BCCI announced the calendar, I think going back to domestic cricket will probably help her before any big tournament than playing any foreign leagues. I personally feel that because playing foreign leagues will not definitely help her cause in terms of bringing back the all new, overall the process that we are looking at, how it is in domestic structure. So I would probably feel, my opinion is that she should get back to domestic cricket, score ample amount of runs and then come back into the setup again. And we've seen Sneh Rana perform really well. I am sure, Jemima is not far off from all this because she's done it in the past. All she needs is to spend some time, score a lot of runs, soak in it, and then, come out. And I'm sure she'll be a better performer. It's about, she's overthinking right now at the moment. She's trying too hard. And when you're trying hard, things just fall apart. And that's exactly what we're seeing in Jemima's case.
Indeed, 4 of 21 was what the number 3 scored for India in this run chase. But eventually, 4-wicket win for India. The series ends 2-1. And at this moment, the multi-format series is placed 6-4 in England's favour. Right then, before we wrap up, it's time for pick and choose stuff for our panelists. And moment of the game is something that we kind of have made it a ritual. So who's going to go first, the opening bowler or the opening batter? The moment of the final ODI.
Well, for me, it is Mithali Raj inning, simply because she just covered all aspect of the game. I love the way how she paced her innings, and for me, finishing the innings matters the most. Whether you score, it doesn't matter. But for me, always standout will be finishing the game and winning the match for whatever team you're playing. And that's exactly what she did for me. Mithali Raj innings is the pick of the match.
Ananya?
I'm gonna go with Smriti Mandana's catch. It was a standout moment, I think, of the series so far for me. One of the best things that's happened on the field for India. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
It's a very different choice from you, and that's a good one as well. I'm going to pick one as well, and I'm going to go with that four that Sneh Rana hit off Natalie Siver charging down the wicket, which was one of the part of the turning moment of this final ODI. So yeah, there you go, my moment of the game. But remember, the series is not done and dusted. It's just two legs over. The Test match was done and dusted. Then this ODI series, the 3-match ODI series. But next week there is 3 T20Is as well. So we'll all be available on the Outside View Live. But first up, remember tomorrow at 6 p.m. Indian time, there is the Hindi show where some questions might be answered from. So do ensure that you ask some questions on this game. And of course, at 7 p.m. tomorrow, it's a nice Sunday evening for you. Do join in as we talk about the 3 matches that just went by, the ODI series review on this very show. Thanks, Vanitha. Thanks, Ananya. See you tomorrow on the Outside View Live, and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Thank you.